I do a complex analysis, I will try and be like, here's how I did this. This data was taken from XYZ. Da, da, da. It does not tell us for sure XYZ. We can't make this exact correlation, but this is what we know. This is what we don't know. This is what we think it's safe to assume from this data or interpret and take from this data. And yeah, just that honesty. You can see it in the writing when people write about data, and you can see it when they visualize it. A lot of sometimes Irish media outlets, they don't source their graphs, and it really bothers me because you should source it, and if you can, you should link it so that person can click in and look at the exact same thing. Data journalism is great. I think how you build trust as a data journalist is you try and practice a scientific method. You try and open source your code. If you do something really complex, you try and publish a paper being like, here's my methodology. If you want to replicate this and do this again, please do. And if you find a mistake in my method or my coding or my analysis or my method, let me know and I will update my data. And you'll find a lot of data journalists on Twitter have that attitude that they will publish things, they will publish their methodology if it's very complex, they'll share where they got the data, they'll answer questions really honestly, and they'll be really respectful to their readership, but they'll also be really open to a data mistake. Like if I'm going through 10,000 data points and I make a mistake, which no doubt at some point I have or I will, I want someone to alert me so I can fix that. But it's also like the margin of error in the kind of work you're doing, you're quickly processing data all the time, does mean that you will occasionally make mistakes. And I think you need to be open and honest about that. As long as you're responsive and timely and try and fix any mistakes, like I think that makes you a good data journalist. And I think that makes you an honest data journalist. And I think, yeah, don't just look at a data journalist. Don't just believe me when I tell you data. Like interrogate my work. That's my biggest thing. Like don't just believe me because it's data, and don't just bow down to someone that gives you data. It's almost like when an expert tells you, oh, the study says, don't just believe that. Say, explain the study to me, show it to me. And the same if someone shows you data, like it should be something that as the public becomes more used to data journalism, they're able to interpret the same they would an article. They should be interrogated in that same way. But yeah, I just think with data, as long as you're sourcing things and being as honest about your methods and making it open to criticism, that's how you build trust with your readership. And that's what I always try and do and always trying to do better. Because I don't want people just to believe me because I'm the data person. I don't want to obfuscate what I do. I don't think a lot of the time what I do is terribly complicated. Sometimes people say, oh, you're the data person, and oh, that's probably right because you've done it. And don't treat me like that. And I really, I still want to be challenged. And yeah, I think the public are getting better during the pandemic. They've seen the different ways people can get things wrong. And so, yeah, it's definitely, I think good data journalism is honest, and it invites people to look at the process and look at the method and interrogate it in the exact same way they would. So that interactive side of things I like as well, where you're inviting people to go down the garden path with you of how you figure something out.